and welcome to the Oversight Global, the Energy of Gratitude series, where all month long we are deep diving into the practice of gratitude, a super quick, super easy, yet highly beneficial tool that you can use for positivity and success. My name is Angelie Kapoor. I'm your series host and as well as the founder of Oversight Global. We're an organization that addresses the consciousness crisis in the world by advocating for awareness and consciousness. We strive to educate and empower individuals and businesses to be aware of and strive to fulfill their fullest potential and uniquely contribute to the world. I want to welcome our guest today, Lorraine Segal. After surviving the 50s and 60s, as well as 20 years in toxic academia, as a tenured professor, Lorraine Segal was inspired to start her own business, Conflict Remedy, happily teaching, coaching, blogging, and consulting around workplace conflict transformation. She's addicted to reading novels and enjoys walking and hiking in beautiful Northern California, where she lives with her wife. Her cartoon muse, Bookie, insisted that she write a memoir, Angels and Earthworms, an unexpected journey to joy, love, and miracles about her life's transformation. Lorraine, welcome. I'm so excited to have you here.
Oh, hi, Angelie. It's lovely to be here with you.
Oh, awesome. So let's go ahead and dive into exploring gratitude. So can you tell me, what does gratitude mean to you?
Well, I think I'm with you that gratitude is so simple and so important.
Yes.
And to me, it's about looking for the good.
Mm-hmm.
It's about appreciating what I have and being grateful for it, which I think creates more abundance. Instead of feeling like a victim or feeling like there's never enough, to appreciate all the blessings that I do have and be open for more.
Yes, definitely. I definitely agree with you there that, I found that gratitude is one of those, higher frequency energies. And so the more that you can strive and really be intentional about being in that frequency, it really does, like you said, attract more goodness to you. So that's great. So can you tell us how gratitude has affected you and your life?
Well, I think, I kind of touch on this in my memoir as well, that I did not know anything about gratitude growing up.
Yeah.
I felt not good enough. I felt unhappy. I was a misfit.
Mm-hmm.
And as I began seeking for my own spiritual path and seeking for happiness, along the way, one of the things I discovered was gratitude.
Mm-hmm.
That looking at my life from a very different perspective of, instead of comparing myself to people who seemed smarter or richer or prettier or, had better hair or whatever it was, when I could look at my life with appreciation and when I could connect with the divine, whom I call the goddess, and say, thank you for this, goddess. Thank you for and starting to realize, and this was something I got from writing the memoir even before I thought about publishing it, was it made me look at my life differently.
Yes.
And realize that all the things I thought were terrible mistakes or where I felt abused or it seemed like I reached dead ends, they actually all helped me get to the amazing life I have now. And so I felt tremendous gratitude to have the opportunity to realize that and see all the beauty that has come my way.
Yes, so beautiful. Thanks for sharing that. I mean, I'm kind of with you, when I think about what I was taught in school and how I've my life's journey of how I've come to, go through a growth and transformational journey where I am aware of gratitude and energies and things like that. I'm with you. I was like, how come we weren't taught this in school? If I had known this earlier, what great things could have happened in my life instead of trying to stumble through it, So I'm totally with you there. But yeah, once you kind of become aware and conscious and, make that discovery, it's just amazing how your life just kind of turns around. I mean, I don't know about you, but, when I look at myself even 5 years ago, I'm a completely different person from who I am today.
Yes. And I think for me, what goes hand in hand with gratitude is forgiveness.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the things I've worked at very consciously. Some of it was through 12-step programs I was in and other spiritual practices, that when I can find compassion for myself and others, when I can forgive myself for not being perfect and making so many mistakes, and forgive other people for the mistakes they made, that helps me be more grateful as well.
Yeah, definitely. Gratitude just opens up so many new doors. It's amazing. It's amazing. So, can you tell us, how do you feel gratitude should be regarded in the world? I mean, especially since we all worldwide went through this pandemic the last couple of years, how can we really use gratitude, and how should it be regarded in the world?
Well, I think the important thing is to recognize that you can be grateful for everything good. And it doesn't mean you're ignoring or denying things that are difficult or bad. I think that they can both be there. And then the bad stuff doesn't get in your soul in the same way. And so, and sometimes it is challenging to find the good. But just to give you a small example. Okay, so I'm allergic to perfume, so I never like going into big gatherings.
Yeah.
And now, because everybody, for a long time, everybody was using Zoom, I got to speak at places I never would have gotten to speak because they accepted coming virtually.
Yeah.
So that was something that I also have gotten to know so many neighbors, because one of the few ways that I was going out in the world was taking walks in my neighborhood. And I met so many lovely neighbors that I didn't know before, And along with that, I could grieve all the people who were ill and dying. And I could be mad at all the people who didn't seem to recognize that there were things we could do about it that they weren't doing. But my life feels, I feel like we always have a choice, that we can affirm what's good, which also gives us strength to fight for justice, right causes, diversity, equity, and inclusion, everything.
Yes.
And, but I think when people are trying to fight for those things and only looking at what's wrong, it can hollow you out. And that it's missing a lot of the sweetness that really is in our lives. And
no, I totally agree with you that if we are constantly looking at the negative, it sort of tends to take over, like who we are, and what we do and what we say and how we think. But if we are practicing looking at the good and being thankful at the good, it like you said, it doesn't mean that we ignore the bad or the challenges. It just gives us this different perspective and helps us to be more in balance when dealing with good and bad. With my own gratitude practice, I really discovered that I can handle those negative things and those challenges better than I had in the past. Like you said, the bad doesn't take you over. So yeah, I agree with you. I think that's great. Thank you for sharing.
Can I add one more thing?
Of course.
You might have heard the term Pollyanna, someone who's relentlessly and stupidly looking on the good side. That's how the word's used. But I actually went back and read the book Pollyanna. And actually what she was doing was practicing gratitude. Okay, she wanted a doll, and instead there were crutches in this care package, but she could be grateful that she didn't need them. And I thought it was, instead of thinking, oh, how, what a stupid, sicky sweet, I thought, how beautiful, how delightful. So I completely turned that word around for myself.
Oh, there you go. I love that. Yeah, I mean, again, it's not about trying to be, like you said, Pollyanna all the time. That's not what we're trying to achieve, but it's just being in that higher frequency and having more balance, I think.
Yeah, because you don't have to be in denial to be grateful.
Exactly. Yeah, definitely. So thank you so much for all of the great insight and knowledge that you've given us so far. We would love to hear more about you. So tell us more about you and what you do, and this new book that you have coming out.
Yes. Okay. So I was a tenured professor at a community college and ran a department for a number of years. I love my students, but it was a horrifically toxic environment. And I ended up with PTSD there.
Oh,
And, being bullied and mobbed. And I escaped and found a new career that is beautiful and that I might never have found if it hadn't been for the horrific experiences. Because, I had tenure, summers off, benefits, everything, and I love my students. But, the way it ties in with gratitude is that I was desperate to escape. I found the field of, it was called conflict resolution then, I call it conflict transformation now. And, but even all those horrible things and all the, I had to do a lot of forgiveness work, they really did lead me to the new career. And I love what I do. I have my own business, which I knew nothing about. It's just that was the path to do the work I wanted to do. And it's called Conflict Remedy. I have a website, conflictremedy.com. I've been writing a blog about conflict and forgiveness and communication and gratitude for almost 13 years now, which is kind of it's longevity, I guess. And I've taught at Sonoma State University these subjects. I go into organizations and work with leaders, individual coaching, training, and consulting. And I absolutely love what I do. And I love the way I feel like it brings value to the world. And I actually have found ways to bring my whole self. So I work on gratitude and I work on forgiveness with my clients, because if you're holding a grudge, it's really hard to transform or heal a conflict. So I do that. And so that's my day job now, because I got called by the goddess, as I call the divine, to write a memoir. I thought, the cartoon muse I mentioned, Bookie, who really does look like a cartoon character from the 30s, he popped in my head one day and he pumped his arms up and down and said, write me. But he didn't tell me what to write. And I thought it should be about conflict transformation. But I asked the goddess and she said, no, write about your life first. So that was the genesis of the memoir. And, writing about my journey from being this miserable misfit little girl to finding a connection with the divine, finding my strength, finding true love, and finding right livelihood. And then all the negative voices that came up around writing a book and working those through and finding love and support from people in my life and from the divine. It's really been an amazing journey.
Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing your journey. I love hearing stories like that. So we can connect with you and follow you on your website. Is that right? Is there any other way that people can connect and follow you?
Yeah, I'm on LinkedIn as well. And I have, a different domain name that will connect with my website. It's booklingpress.com.
Okay.
And my book, I can't believe it, but just, it's coming out Tuesday, and it's already, it will be on Amazon, Bookshop. It's available, both paperback and ebook through Amazon. And then for people who don't like Amazon, it's available through independent bookstores and other places. And I only have my print proof, but this is what it looks like minus the gray line. I love the cover. And the title actually came from a therapy session I had many years ago, where I said to my therapist, I wanted to be an angel of light. I didn't want to keep making all these mistakes. I was feeling really bad. And she looked me right in the eye and she said, then what would you do here on the planet with the rest of us earthworms?
That's great. I love that. Yeah, it's a beautiful book. so
And
excited.
I had so much fun. One of the things I love, you can see it on my blog post too, and you can sign up to get my blog also on the conflictremedy.com website. I love titles. So it's kind of an unconventional memoir structure, and I've got all these little subtitles, like the horrible stuff that happened at the community college. I called that chapter College of Darkness.
That's great.
Which makes me laugh every time I hear it. And I've got one section called The Iron Fist of Political Correctness, which was about this beautiful radical feminist community, but they were also as rigid as the mean girls in a sorority, and things like that. So
that's great. So yeah, we will have links to connect with you in the video description below. So anybody who wants to check out your website, your book, your blog, those links will be there. So before we close, Lorraine, do you have any final thoughts or key takeaways that you want the viewers to kind of walk away with this episode from?
Yeah, well, I guess I just want to say, instead of saying, well, I'm not where she is or I'm not where this other person is, you can start to find gratitude and joy and a better life wherever you are right now. Mm-hmm. Start where you are, be open to love. And that can be a whole process. I'm still working on being grateful and forgiving and trusting myself and trusting life. But it's a process, and wherever you are right now today, you are worthy of gratitude. You are worthy of love. And I encourage you to start or continue.
Yes. Thank you for saying that. Yes, you are worthy. And it's so important to just get started. Don't wait. Don't wait for a time that you think is perfect or when you think you might be perfect. Like you said, we're continually growing, and it's a process. I know I'm always like, I'm with you. I'm always growing and still working on things myself. So yeah, it's very important. We are all worthy, and to just get started. So Lorraine, thank you so much for being here and sharing your experience, your journey, and your insight with us. I know I've gained a lot, and I hope that those watching have too. So thank you so much for being here.
Oh, you're so welcome. It was my pleasure.
Oh, awesome. So thank you also for those of you watching. Thank you for being here and for watching. And please be sure to check out our other episodes of the Energy of Gratitude series. If you're getting as much of it out of it as I am, be sure to let your friends, family, and others know. And be sure to subscribe below if you haven't already to get notified of future episodes and videos on our channel. Thanks again, and we will see you in the next video.